Lubeck could do with starving more. Also, haven't I meant to be flattering Mr. Mecklenburg? It's the trouble, you forget about them and then they get so angry so quickly. That's what I'm needing, cloth, pelts and cheese. Oddly enough, I'm lacking the pelts. I need just a bit more of them. But now Aalborg has pelts for me. Where's my Aalborg man? Been moving around my hunters too much. Whatever he's doing over in Bergen needs to stop. And the Dane's still not wanting, and there we go. Now we'll get Stavanger, the final, no, not final, there's one more that I need to get. The Danish one, Flensburg. And damn, I'm short on wine. Well, that can be fixed. Stavanger is ours now. And now I can completely ignore the northern guy as well. So now all I need to do is flatter you. Kongsberg will be done soon. I completely forgot to pick up the pelts that I need. 3 days until you're done. Back we go again. Give me those pelts. I'm so glad I have so many of them. Off we go to Danzig. Alright, you're good. Wildcard Thagnus does as he does. And we say that we need that. And that. And a big old ball. So you can make actually some funky shaped things here. I mean, imagine how horribly inefficient that is as a shape for your city, but if you wanted it to look like that, you could. I mean, I'd hate to be a soldier approaching a wall from this angle. You'd be nailed from all ends. So what do we need here? We need houses and we need businesses. And I need warehouses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now normally you want to have your houses as close to the city centre as possible because those are the ones most likely to become patricians. But since I build all the houses, it doesn't really matter where they go. Because all the patricians will be mine anyway. You'll still get the same amount of patricians. Alright, so let's wine. It's like 800 people. So I'll finally have wine flowing in the Hansa with this. Good. Still 17 days for that tavern though. Still, Wildcard can dump the stuff there. I am a little concerned for Aarhus since I made you, but I'm confident that we will we'll have enough food to see us through, especially with all that grain. 10-day demand for grain is 42, so you're going to be good for like 50 days at least. Wildcard Thagnus returns to Aalborg, grabs the goods that we need. Grand. How many people can fit in Kongsberg, Jake? I'm amazed that people are actually asking pertinent questions as if they're paying attention to the stream. Why are there 400 people watching right now? Find a hobby. Not this game. I'm actually going to give away a whole bunch of these, whole bunch of copies to this game as the June giveaway. Probably this and Caesar 3. I'll wait until the summer sales start, which I totally don't know when that is. Kongsberg capacity. 610, 61,000 people. So that's a little bit above average. The total average is about 58,000, so I'm rounding that up to 60,000 just because. Now I lost track of my head. Alberg is coming with pelts to make you happy. And then I can get my land route. Grand. And I still need to make the Danes a little happier, because they have one city for me. That helps. Stavanger. So I need to finish Kongsberg, Stavanger, and then Flensburg, and then I will have every city. And that way I will not need to change my trade routes ever again. Well, at least not in that capacity. You know, I wonder if Warlord Janeway actually makes me any money right now. Seems that they're flying around with absolutely nothing. But it's hard to judge. Wouldn't it be better to adjust the eastern trades to include the new founded cities? Well, since I can't do west until Stavanger's done, I can't do center until Flensburg's done, but you are right, I can adjust all the eastern ones now that Kongsberg is operational. I mean, it's in its infancy, there's nobody even here yet, but it is at the very least operational for the purpose of Ka-ching. Oh shoot. Let's save before I break everything. Shouldn't have done that until my warehouses were done. Still, you are right. So let's do that exciting task. We're going to have to do it 3 times. Might as well get one of them done. So what I need to do is take every single fleet that deals with the east and tell them to stop by these 2 new cities that I've added. Now, thankfully that does not include the autos, of which I have quite a lot here. But the autos can continue to do what they do. So, let us start. Actually, I'm going to take a very quick water break before I start this, because I don't want to take a break in the middle of it. I'll be right back. Alright, your patience with that water break will be richly rewarded as we go through and fix all of the eastern trade routes. We'll start off with beer, of course. Now, it's kind of a difficult one. To what degree is Aarhus considered eastern rather than center? But if we consult the map on that one, the fact that it's on the other side of this lip tells us that it's eastern. If it had to be part of the center, then it would mean Malmö would go to here, then here. Whereas if it's part of the east, then it can be very much incorporated into the Visby meets Aalborg route. So that's fine. So Aarhus and Kongsberg get added. It's actually pretty difficult because they're not both on the same wavelength, really. But if we remember that Kongsberg goes between Danzig and Riga, and Aarhus goes between Aalborg and Visby, I guess. Yeah, that does make sense. And I've already forgotten what I just said, but whatever. Beautiful. Now, I already set up everything to work fine with the warehouses, so all I have to do is hit both of those. And there we have it. Easy. Now let's just do that another dozen times or so for everything that deals with the east. And I'm so glad I have this on a hub system. Imagine if I didn't. Every single city that produces goods having to sort out where they send it to. A nightmare when you're trying to build a proper Hansa. Nightmare, he says. Between... Come on, Jake, you can do it. Where's Riga here? Oh, Riga isn't part of it, that's why it's so confusing for me. Because it's one of the brick ones, and I try not to stop by producers of these goods, which is confusing then, because I'm actually hitting up Aarhus on this. And a bit more, I mean, it would be like a double resupply of it if I did tell it to stop in by Riga, but then by all means I do not need it to stop in by Aarhus. But Riga doesn't really produce any right now. Sod it, I'm adding Riga. Riga, Aarhus, and Kongsberg. You're another one of these eastern ones. So Danzig needs to go... Ho ho, not quite. Yeah, that kind of works. We'll see how well this brick malarkey works out. For all I know, Riga will not produce brick whatsoever in the future. So I think I'm going to relax on how I do the whole avoiding places that produce routine. I mean, one way to do it is just to completely remove the route like this and redo it. Might end up being a little bit easier on me, but that makes it also a lot easier to do misclicks. Why does this look a little different to the ones I've had before? Can't shake this feeling that I'm messing something up. Welcome back, Jake. Here another question. Would it be more effective to use 4 trading zones? Northeast, Western, Western Baltic, Eastern Baltic. The West is a huge area. You're not wrong about that, but we'll have it as is. The thing is, the North Baltic would just be such a large area of nothingness. I've got no big troubles dealing with it as one whole area. Just means my convoys have to be super massive. Alright, that seems fine, but why do I feel like my other one was off? Aalborg should go directly to Aarhus. In other words, Aarhus should not go to Danzig. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense to me. I can even see that if it takes longer or shorter. The game says it's the same length. I disagree. Okay, let us carry on. I just did the cheese. Then there's the cloth, which does center, west, and east. I'm surprised. So I do have cloth that does the rounds. I mean, it barely does the rounds, but it does. I'll have to ramp up cloth production later on, or else that's going to be the choke point for producing boats. But at the very least, we produce some cloth, and that's what we're looking at. Expeditionaries are nothing to worry about. And then there's fish. Fish center, fish east. We still don't have someone doing fish west. I should have sorted that ages ago, but I did not. What is this nonsense I'm doing here? This part I find quite fun, clicking on the maps to sort all that. Fish. Take it all, leave it all. Do the rest to here. Fish is so important, the money you make on it is lovely, and demand for it is high. And whoops. See, part of my 3 things, I would fix that bug. That slight twitch making everything go to pot. And now look at this, look at this. What is going on? Aarhus, Visby, Stockholm, Helsinki, Riga? Revel? Riga after Revel, thanks. Good. Once I'm done this, I'll probably forget to make fish west again, but somebody please try to remind me. The grain east, always highly in demand here. It's almost zen doing this, and I know I've said that plenty of times before, but it really is. You know, last night I spent 3 to 4 hours actually cutting up all the Patrician stuff that we've done so far and prepping it up to go onto YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, that must mean you're like 50 episodes deep into it, to which I am a little frightened at your resolve. I mean, I don't know why anyone watches this. There's quite a few people, actually. Wow, a 300 Doggo-Cog hemp lot here. That's just bizarre. Aarhus right after Aalborg. Kongsberg between you two. But I mean, I'm here because I'm enjoying this game. You must have your reasons for watching as well. Alright, we have a much bigger one doing hemp to the east, I'm sure of it. We don't? We have one guy? The one doggo cog supplies the whole area there with hemp. I don't believe that for a second. Either hemp demand is really small or something else is bringing that hemp. Hemp center, hemp west, hemp east dealt with 300? That just doesn't add up unless the overall demand for hemp is so unbelievably low. I'm confused and scared by that. I'm gonna check just in case I put it under something like all. No, no all hemp there. What? You don't have a number. There we go. Let's try that again then. Doggo cog is 300 east, west, center, west, more west. I'm just I don't know what to make of that. Doggo cog keeps everyone supplied with hemp over there. Maybe the issue is that they all produce hemp themselves. Visby does not, so maybe they take it all. Stockholm get plenty. And I guess of course my people buy it up. Okay, so they don't need this, it gets bought up. But as these populations grow, they will not be sufficient on hemp. What the heck? How does Helsinki have hemp? Makes no sense to me, but regardless, I am going to want to increase the size of hemp. I should write these things down. Fish west, increase hemp east, convoy. Okay, with that in mind, I don't know why I have honey brigades, since I have almost no honey, but I do. What I quite like about this is it leaves Danzig till last, which means if there's nothing left, then they lose, they get nothing. I don't like Danzig because it keeps growing. It's like a cancer. Except I'm not the one causing it. I mean, the rest of them growing are fine because I have an influence in just about every city on the map. The only ones that I really don't are Ripon, maybe Oslo, London, but Danzig grows despite all of that. And then there's a center honey, that's fine. The regular hunters. And then there's meat. Meat for the west, meat for the center, meat for the east. You have east and west convoys in reverse route, Patali. What? Center's fine. West is west. West is also west. And then east does his own thing. And then the west is also west. Don't know what you're on about there. Still, meat to the east. It's tempting to tell Danzig to starve. And I could probably do that if I told Danzig to buy up all the food forever. All inland routes are out of your grasp. Yeah, for now. Don't make it sound like I'm evil. My grasp, really. Can't wait to do this with all the center and western trade routes. But once they're done, they're done. It's only going to be a case of scaling up. I've already said that before, but I was very much knowing that there would be extra founded cities. I'm actually blasting through the founded cities a lot faster than expected. But it's nice because you have total control over them so long as you keep the AIs out. And I'll be keeping those AIs out. Filthy AI scum. Alright, pitch for the east. What is this route? I wonder if there's a more efficient way to do this, but I'm not seeing it. No, I'm not seeing it whatsoever. Now I've been playing this for quite a while, and I can see myself playing it for a while yet. Whenever I assemble furniture, it always gives me that feeling in the loins to play this game, because it gets me thinking about how the goods are made and dispersed, manufactured, and it leaves me dripping for playing this. People mover, he abides by no rules. Salt goes west, center, and bathtub does the east. Wow! That's a tiny amount of salt, and yet these guys have some salt. And Danzig's actually flooding with the stuff. How can this be? 10-day demand for salt just isn't that high, I guess, but still. Okay, so also plus salt east. Because here's the thing, Visby's going to grow, Helsinki's going to grow, Kongsberg's going to grow, Aarhus is going to grow. So they're all going to need a lot more goodies this way. But regardless. Stay true to our mission here. It's kind of odd to think of Danzig as the east. Europa, I guess, has just been distorting my ideas of the map. Still good. And there's bacon, Daiken Kai. A lot of stuff goes out to the west because we need loads for that. Stars. I'm so glad that tool production is working. It's one of the harder things to get out there. It requires 2 goods. Not any manufactured goods at least. But boy is it in demand for certain key buildings and for boats constantly. Pelts though now. Pelts are probably the hardest thing to get going. Pelts and fish both require goods that they themselves are manufactured. Clothes too, but clothes at least only requires one of them. Oh boy, wood you gotta deal with. 3,000 though, that should be plenty to keep wood flowing over here. At least for now, especially since I'm hitting up places that do have, well, does it make any sense to hit up Aarhus during that? It doesn't really, but I'm not too concerned with efficiency in that regard. I would rather have things simple and manageable. So that's why I'm rescinding my idea of cutting out the city that actually produces goods when doing this. I may run into conflicts, but I can deal with them as I find them. Is that it though? Okay, well that means we only have wool to do. This didn't take much time at all. And I'm sure there are people sitting there on episode 55 of this Patrician 4 playthrough going, didn't take any time at all, he says. But I've been told that there is no stream or recording that's been done of building a full Hansa of this, so at least I'm doing something new. And then there'll be some guy out there with one who's cursing my name for ever saying that. There we go, that is the east dealt with. I'm sure I messed up something, but we'll find it and fix it wherever there's a problem. Oh, thank God, I thought my game crashed. It wasn't responding there. Let me save before I have a heart attack. And a good old Carvel ready in Riga again. But they're lacking metal goods of all things. Are you telling me that there's not enough metal goods coming around? But didn't I just see tools? Show yourself, tool man.